Hello everyone, my name is Nicholas Liu and this is my artifact analysis presentation for MAE 670 for National University. Today is October 17th, 2023. Let's get started. If we take a look over here, we have the MAE Program Learning Outcomes, the PLOs, which I'm sure all of us are familiar with. These four learning outcomes will help us as we move on into this presentation. So the first artifact that I want to look at comes from MAE 610, the Plan of Study and Practice Research. For this artifact, I used the Plan of Study assignment. I needed to align certain program learning outcomes with similar program of study courses. I provided a thorough analysis of each alignment and explained how the courses would be able to contribute to my professional development and educational journey. If we look over here are my four annotations for this assignment. And I chose this PLO3 because it applies practitioner research methods to study and inform instruction in traditional and digital learning environments. Mainly, it's applying the practitioner and research methods to study. If we look over here is EID 600 Technology Foundations. For this artifact, I used EID 600 research paper. This one was my educational integration of technology, which was honestly very surprising. I created an annotated bibliography that included courses that discussed how certain schools have integrated 3D printing into their studies. The sources provided a different perspective and showed the practicality behind integrating 3D printing into education. The studies behind this bibliography supported that value behind 3D printing, which I thought was actually quite interesting with this artifact, because I realized I thought it would have been great for all schools, but it really wasn't for all schools. And it was only certain classes that it would really truly work for when it came to 3D printing. The PLO that I chose for this was obviously PLO1, which was integrating advanced approaches to instruction, assessment, and learning using digital tools and skills. And obviously the digital tools would have been the 3D printing, and we're using those for skills as well. If we look over here, we have the MAE Pathway 10, SEL, and Self-Care. This one, the artifact was Sanford Harmony Program, cards 1 and 2. Along with the guided reflection. For this artifact, I focus on integrating social and emotional learning and self-care strategies into the classroom. We focus on learning more about SEL and the various types of self-awareness, including interpersonal, emotional, and self-concept. The PLO that I chose was number 2, which is design learning experiences that include learner characteristics, principles of customized learning, and assessment as learning. The customized learning was that we need to be able to adapt our learning to better suit students who may struggle with SEL, right, or social emotional learning, also with their self-awareness. I chose these two cards because with Sanford Harmony's program, they didn't necessarily have anything to submit, but we did go over some videos and self-guided reflection. And then this is the self-guided reflection for Pathway 10. If we look over here, we have the MAE Pathway 9 positive behavior supports, similar to that of the last slide. The artifact that I chose was Sanford Harmony Program cards 1 and 2, along with the guided reflection. For this artifact, I focused on integrating social and emotional learning, or SEL, through emotional regulation into our classroom environment. I also learned what MTSSs are, which are super helpful, especially in the classroom, as this is my first year teaching, and how they're used to support my student and design my learning experiences. This PLO that I chose was number 2, which is design learning experiences that include learner characteristics, principles of customized learning, and assessment as learning. As you can see in cards 1 and 2, we have the SEL and MTSS, along with emotional regulation, and the guided reflection as well. EID 610 was the instructional design. My artifact that I used was my research paper on Bloom's taxonomy. For this artifact, I created a research paper that focuses on Bloom's taxonomy. This artifact helps to demonstrate the current learning science research with the effectiveness of Bloom's taxonomy, which is found in instructional design. This paper reflected on the research's findings. The PLO that I chose was PLO 4, which is developing reflective practices that are grounded in current learning science research, which is Bloom's taxonomy, professional ethics, and include pathways to continuous growth. All right, obviously, using Bloom's taxonomy allows me to continually grow in my knowledge of it. and applying it to the classroom. And then here's my artifact for the research paper. ITL 600, Becoming a Teacher. My artifact was the ITL program Roadmap to Success, or SMART. For this artifact, I designed a SMART outline which focused on separate categories: S, listing my goals; M, measuring the success of my goals; A, the actions I would take to achieve my goals; R, if my goals are realistic; and T, what's the timeline for these goals. This follows along under PLO 4, which focused on pathways to continuous growth. Focusing on PLO 4, like I said, it's including pathways to continuous growth, right? What goals am I setting and how am I measuring those successes, and what actions am I taking to achieve those goals? And then the timeline for T, right, in the SMART acronym, which is the timeline to achieve these goals. What does my pathway look like and how can I get there and to achieve it? And then for this assignment, my main goal was the California teaching credential. How do I get it? How do I finish my master's course? ITL 604 was Learners and Learning 1. The artifact was the cultural iceberg, the concept of culture. I really enjoyed this class. This artifact was I created a digital cultural iceberg, which allowed me to focus on illustrating the visible and hidden aspects of culture. The iceberg represented various elements, including food, clothing, but also values, beliefs, and social norms. By understanding these more, we were able to better relate to our students and their cultural norms and values. And this falls under PLO 1, which is integrating advanced approaches to instruction, assessment, and learning using digital tools and skills. I really did appreciate this one just because my school is such a diverse range of students. So understanding the concept of culture and understanding that it's more than, like it says, food and clothing, but it's talking about their values, beliefs, and social norms and how we can adapt our learning instruction and our own personal attitude towards it when we understand it more is huge for me. ITL 608 was design and process of teaching. This artifact was the guided observation reflection. For this artifact, I outlined the various learning approaches when teaching a lesson on fractions to a wide range of students based on their reports. I researched their assets and learning needs while also applying the UDL principles to help corroborate my academic instruction. This PLO the PLO that I chose was PLO 4, which is develop reflective practices that are grounded in current learning science research, professional ethics, and include pathways to continuous growth. And then this is my artifact that goes along with it. And for this one, I found that it was more the pathways to continuous growth for my students and being grounded in current learning science research. ITL 606 was Learners and Learning 2. The artifact was Guided Observation and Reflection. For this artifact, I wrote a guided observation and reflection on the main focuses of teaching diverse learners in grades K through 5. This paper focused on the importance in designing not only a positive learning environment, but a safe one as well. It highlighted the importance of setting clear learning objectives and taking note of students' strengths and weaknesses. The PLO that I chose is PLO 2, which is Design Learning Experiences that include learner characteristics, principles of customized learning, and assessment as learning. And then this is my guided observation reflection right here. And I chose this one more so because it's including the learner characteristics, designing learning experiences. As we look at the artifact, its purpose was to allow us to explore various teaching strategies and procedures in order to meet the diverse needs of our students. MA 670 at Practitioner Research and Study. For this artifact, it was the 5 original source research study. For this artifact, I reviewed the link between guided reading-based comprehension strategies and elementary students' reading comprehension. These studies explored certain interventions, such as e-readers and continuous reading, that helped highlight the potential that these interventions have on reading skills and attitudes. The PLO that I chose was 3, which is apply practitioner research, which goes with it, methods to study and inform instruction in traditional and digital learning environments. Traditional, as in the continuous reading, the more old-fashioned interventions, along with the e-readers, which is the digital learning environments. And this right here was my artifact for it. This concludes my artifact analysis presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This master's course was incredibly helpful, and I've really grown not only as a teacher, but as an individual and learning how to manage my time better um, and truly just focus on my studies. So, thank you so much, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a good one. Bye.